Hello and welcome to the final round chase card coverage of the 2018 Utah Open presented by Prodigy Disc. We've got Big Julie commentary, myself, Jeremy Koling, joined by Paul Ulibarri.
Yeah, thank you guys. This never gets old. We have Paul McBeth, James Conrad, Alan Wagner, and Sias,
the non-biased Elmore. On the hole one here, par 4, 711 feet, crusher hole here. And just like last round, I feel like the conditions aren't quite as brutal as they were in round 2. But for the final round, it's a little bit of a headwind. And it's kind of like a combination between the no wind factor round 1 and the really windy round 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So the play is just to throw your stable disc out kind of wide, make sure it's hyzering in front of those, ponds, and the fairway is pretty wide. So
that's right.
This hole's all about the second shot.
Yep.
And just like we said, it looks like Paul's got that perfectly. Maybe a little bit left, but he'll have this 250-foot approach into the green.
Yeah, and that's pretty scary.
He's currently sitting at 109 strokes. He's also sponsored by Innova Champion Discs. Let's give it up for James Conrad.
And I'm a little biased, but James Conrad is absolutely one of my favorite people to watch play, so I'm super excited to see what he does on this course.
His form is one of a kind, and his spirit is always up, and obviously he can bomb with the best of them, putt with the best of them. It's going to be really fun to watch him play today.
Yeah, over the last 2 years, he's found himself, on the top 2 cards almost every tournament.
Yeah, and he's a Disc Golf Pro Tour champion, and he's off to a great start here with a nice rip down the middle of the fairway. And I would be willing to bet we're going to see a JK AVR coming up for a second shot.
Currently sitting at 110 strokes, Alan Wagner.
Alan Wagner playing a really good second, actually 2 55s in a row, I believe, to get to this point. Good start for him.
Yeah, a really good player out of Iowa, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the pleasure of playing him throughout my career, even as an amateur.
Yeah, sure.
So he's been in the game a long time. As you see there, he has control over his disc. That's right in the fairway.
Today, from Campbell, California, sponsored by DGA, and sitting at 110 strokes. Please give a big round of applause to Sias Elmore.
Sias the bias Elmore.
That's right. Sias is another great player. Pretty calm demeanor. Really just knows his game, sticks to it, and just gets the job done. A lot of really just consistent shots. He's not going to blow you away with any one particular skill set, but he's just really plays within himself.
Absolutely. From California.
Mm-hmm. And if you're going with a high-speed disc for your second shot, that is a very difficult hillside to land on. It's a smart play. Just get it over that hill and give yourself the easy par.
It's like Sias is pulling out a mid-range, and it looks like he just kind of didn't get it over, or he's playing left side safe.
And that's a good place to be. That's never in line with the bunker. Really no chance. And indeed, James is going with the JK AVR that he's so well known for throwing, and it's going to give him 34 feet left for his birdie.
Looks like Paul's lining up the Nova.
And I feel like this is a little bit shorter, but nope, just over the hillside.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody with more touch with the Nova than Paul McBeth.
Yeah, Brad Williams would give him a run for his money, but other than that, yeah, those are the top 2.
And unfortunately, Wagner doesn't get that high enough, and he gets the unfortunate roll away.
Yeah, and one of the things you're kind of nervous about running that putt, as Sias gives that a pretty decent bid, is that if you miss that putt high, you're going to go in the bunker long. You don't really factor in so much the fact that if you hit that cage. Wow, what a great second effort there. Great par save. But yeah, that roll away back down the hill is definitely just as big of a feature as the bunker behind it.
Which is kind of a theme on this course. It seems
Yeah.
like if you get around the greens and you're missing, you have a chance to somehow go out of bounds.
Yeah, on almost every hole. Woo.
Ooh, and Paul sneaks that one in. You know, as he's releasing that disc, you can see he's only clearing that hill by like a foot.
Mm-hmm. And that was into a headwind, so it came out low, but the headwind just kept it lifted just long enough to get over the cage.
Yeah, and that's not really a stance or a putt that you can really practice.
On hole 2, 369 feet here. And like we said before, they just want to throw a hyzer, land it somewhere on the... If you can hit the top of the hillside there, that's going to funnel the disc right to the basket. But you just have to have really perfect touch here. Otherwise, that bunker there in front and the water behind really come into play super quick.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of us use that mountain as a gauge to get it. If you get it about the height of the mountain there, it should have the right amount of touch to come in soft, as Paul does right there.
Yeah, textbook execution there from Paul.
I wish before I played that I had this video so I could just remind myself to aim at the mountain tile.
Right.
Unless you're throwing a mid-range, which is actually what James is throwing here.
Yeah, MD4.
And that's really good.
Yeah, crept over the hill there. He's going to have circle's edge putt. And that's the one thing about that mountain is it never really moves that much.
Nope.
It's going to be pretty much there every year.
Right. Alan, I don't know if that...
I think that should be safe. There is a bunker, but I believe it's further left than where he landed there. Sias with that unique form there where he really almost throws a controlled grip lock in a way where it's something that we've seen like Steve Brinster throw as well in the past. Something where their body really overturns and then they turn and hit that line on a... Oh wow, good effort there from Alan. On a very consistent basis. That's what makes Sias so good. And that's another reason right there.
Yeah, making 30-footers
is going to help you.
Down the stretch.
Yeah, it's going to help you at any point. Down the stretch especially.
James says, I'll take some of the same.
Oh, yeah.
And just struts to the basket. I love the James strut. You can see him anywhere on the course, and you know exactly who that person is.
We were talking the other day who the fastest running 1,000 rated golfer would be. And you picked Austin Turner. I picked Kevin Jones. We had somebody recently tune in with James Conrad just because he walks with his calves and he might be really faster for long distance. Anyways, comment with who you think might be the fastest 1,000 rated golfer on a 100-meter sprint. On hole 3, 405 feet here. Really difficult green to approach. As you can see, the bunker is really small. That landing zone is about 20 feet wide or so. And that if you can hit this side hill here, it's a great way to kind of play as a backstop. Let the disc skip up the hill just a bit.
And even though that bunker is shaped like a heart, it has no love for us at all.
No, none whatsoever.
There's Paul. Let's see if he gets... He looks like he's got a nice push at... I don't know if he's going to need to skip out of the bunker.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's not necessarily how you draw it up, but you'll take it.
He's getting a FollowFlight for this one. Yeah, he pulls it out a little bit wide, but I think it was low enough that it had enough speed to just skip right out.
Yeah. And there's a left to right crosswind, which makes it even more difficult to get to the pin. These players are going to need to keep the disc high with a overstable disc to be able to get as far left as they need just to avoid the bunker and play off to that safer left side area.
Right. And honestly, the The line is almost the exact same that I threw, or not that I throw, that we throw on the hole before.
Yeah,
It's
similar,
very
yeah,
similar.
Right. Kind of the similar height with the mountains.
Right.
And pushing out and just trying to drift back left. And Sias with a similar shot to James. It's going to be shopping for birdie, but not something that's on sale. I mean, it's not cheap. They're gonna have to spend a lot of money.
He's gonna have to earn it.
Yeah, he's gonna have to earn it.
He's gonna have to earn
Yep.
the birdie.
And this is a little bit wider, but looking pretty good for Allen. But no, the
He does
sand.
not get the Paul McBeth skip out
No.
to 2 feet.
He's
He
got
gets the
4 less world titles is one of the reasons, and maybe a plethora of others.
he's got the no
Oh
world championship
my God.
stick. Sias just showing us.
Oh man, look at
The brand. I didn't even see that.
Whoa!
Between the
He
branches
gives it a
and
little
gives
tap.
That's great, man.
Oh,
that's a great SloMez.
That's fun. James, no tree necessary, just gallops it in there.
Anything you can do, I can do better, he says.
Yeah,
They've been in the exact same spot almost on every hole.
yeah, that's crazy. And Allen is going to have to settle for bogey here. Paul stepping up for his 2. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little pat on the back here. Hole 3. 2 holes after I started with an 8 on hole 1. I got the longest tournament ace I've ever had on this hole. On what is playing as the second hardest hole in the course of the day, averaging 3.33. Really difficult conditions. Also, we saw 3 birdies on the hole make it look easy, but I can tell you right now, it was not easy. So, cool.
Nice ace, Jim.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. On to hole 4. 453 feet, cross the water, and we've been playing into headwind for the last 2 rounds. Nothing's changed now. Makes attacking the pin on this smaller, tighter green here really difficult. Players are just going to try to throw. If you have the distance to throw the hyzer, like Paul definitely has, and James has, you're going to want to keep it wide and just crashing into the green. And
This looks good.
just getting over the edge, and I'm sure that was probably pretty scary for Paul. But a good result, and he'll be putting for 2.
And James
Going for the flat line here. This is looking really nice.
Yeah, it looks like it should be about circle's edge or
Yeah,
so.
a bit wide, but not much skip there, but that's still a good shot.
Yeah, that's typical, the hole is so dangerous to the left there, and that wind, if you get a wrong nose angle, it can suck you right into the left out of bounds. And I saw this a lot as well, somebody just turning it over. There's really no trouble over there.
Mhm.
So you can just turn something over and it kind of just dives into the grass and then approach from there. Or you could do like a lot of us other players do and chug it straight in the water.
And we saw this play from Preston Johnson in round 2, just a safe play off to the left. The whole area over there is all in bounds. The only thing that's out of bounds is the fence way off to the right, and obviously the lake there in the middle. But this shot allows Allen to have a really clear straight shot across the water. And if you're going to play it for a par, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, he leaves himself about 28-footer.
And Sias just so nonchalant.
Yeah.
The way he plays is just like,
He's got a casual style, that's for sure.
it's fun to watch. And that lifted a little bit on James, which is kind of surprising with that wind. It wasn't necessarily wind that you'd think would lift the disc, but
I think Allen's thinking the same thing.
yeah, and so you see Allen's drop there. Paul just over the rim. Nice birdie.
And just like that, Paul's birdied the first 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so quiet when he plays well. Makes it look so simple.
James cleaning up. Sias with about an 18-footer here. Should do the same.
To throw with big power, you got to throw smooth. I see too many beginners that throw all tensed up. For more tips like this, check out our 2018 Disc Golf Guide.
And a quick shout out to the Sexton family celebrating their daughter's 1-year birthday. The reason that Sexton's not here this weekend. Moving on to hole 5, par 4, 696 feet. We're going to have a right to left wind here, which is going to make it difficult with the fairway ever so slightly gently sloping towards this water here on the left side. We've mentioned this the last couple days. The fairway is extremely fast, so anything with angle is going to move really fast off to the left towards the water.
Paul's lining up that hyzer approach that really kind of just cuts the hole in half. And it's probably definitely the safest play because he took a giant skip, and even with the giant skip and ground play, he was able to stop before the water.
Yeah, Garrett Gerthy on my card played the same hyzer shot and still managed to get in the water on the left, just to kind of show. These trees aren't really showing the wind right now as James just mashes on this flex line. Just beautiful shot here. But it's out there and it's constantly moving. It's not as, like we said before, it's not as dramatic as round 2, but it's enough so that it really plays tricks on these players off the tee.
And that's a little bit too turned over, I think. Even for a safe shot, he's going to have about a 400-foot shot into the green.
Yeah, it's ideally you'd like to throw 350 or maybe 375 and then 325. You'd like to throw a little bit slower on the approach. If you're trying to cut it in half, you want to push that first tee shot as far as you can. But Allen with a decent shot there. That's, again, he's probably cut the hole just in half at 350.
Right. And Sias has plenty of distance to be able to get this there, but it looks like he's playing it a little too safe, possibly. I mean, that might be safe, but that's definitely not where he was aiming.
Yeah, that's ultra conservative there, but it is a very scary green to get aggressive on. Allen throwing really low line, which is actually a really smart play just to avoid the wind.
I like his shot.
And it's going to be right around circle 2, which is in par territory. Not something that you're going to hate. James cutting up so much distance off the tee. He can go with his Tour Series, JK, and look at that right there parked.
Wow, he made that hole look way too easy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Paul's going to do the same.
And he's going with a more stable approach here, the Luster AVR X3, which I'm really jealous of. I really want that disc.
I still think James made it look easier.
Yeah,
even though
maybe.
Paul's closer. Yeah.
James may have made it look easier, but Paul is more 5 for 5 than James is.
It's so true.
That's true. That's just the truth. But Conrad not off to a bad start himself either.
Allen looks like he's just laying that one up.
And James is in for the birdie, moving him to 3 under through 5.
Which is a great start.
Almost as good as 5 down through 5. Just making moves, chase card, doing what Paul does on Sundays, just vintage Paul McBeth. You know he's coming. You'd much rather see him on lead card so you can watch it happen. But, it's a little bit scarier when it's from chase card. Hole 6, the island hole with a little tiny peninsula down there on the right side. Most of these players are going to go with the forehand. Actually, on this card, I'm not quite sure. I think actually maybe only Paul will go with the forehand here. But with the right to left kind of cross tailwind that we're going to have, the backhand is really difficult. The wall is actually closest on that left side, and it's kind of difficult to get it over that first wall and not have it lift and go over the second wall.
I don't think any of them are going to throw forehand.
Yeah, and that is the play on this hole, just for the way that the hillside is set up. And Paul using the flags there, not the flags, the wall there to stop his disc.
What if James just threw a sidearm? That'd be sweet.
That would blow my mind.
And that's good. Looks like a good angle.
That wall there is there to protect that shot. The green is pretty small, so that wall might look like it's a pretty overly generous savior, but it's not that easy to hit when the wind picks up.
Yeah.
So that wall is actually, I think most players would say that they appreciate that wall being there. And this is quite wide, but it's hyzering back in pretty nice, and we've got 4 safe drives here on hole 6.
And all backhands.
All backhands. And James continuing this hot start. 4 down through 6. Great putt.
That's a good get for Mr. Wagner. He had a couple tough holes there a few holes ago, so any birdie helps the scorecard, especially on Sunday. Well, that's 6 for 6.
That's awesome for awesome. And Sias to clean up the star frame for the chase card. Making some moves here. On to hole 7. 546 foot, quote unquote, par 3. Maybe in calm conditions, but with a little bit of headwind that we have here, this is playing like a nothing short of an eagle if you were to get a 2 on this one. Paul was the only one of the only 2 people so far in the tournament to get this hole, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him play aggressive and attack it once again. But you really have to get almost full distance to get here to this pin right now.
Sure, I think James also has that aggressive mentality, and he might go after this hole as well.
And Paul's got a nice move on this. It just needs to avoid skipping up the hill, and it does. And look at this roll.
Wow. He has a putt.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely got a putt. He's inside circle 2, probably right around 40 feet or so. And James going with a little bit lower line, maybe a little bit more conservative, but
that needs to get up.
yeah, that really never had a chance. These bunkers have a way of not letting discs skip out unless you've won a lot of world titles.
Right.
That has nothing to do with the world titles you've won, I know.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
How many world titles has James won? Or
None.
Sias?
Sias hasn't won any. They're both in the sand trap.
Yeah.
Wagner, Sias, and Conrad have been in the sand trap. Paul skipped out of it.
Yep.
Saying, dude, it's not coincidence, it's real. And Alan with the... Is that overly too safe? No, he's getting the... Whoa! Oh, yeah, and just in the reeds there. Unfortunate there for Alan. He's going to have to take a stroke.
And even though that may have looked like it was in bounds, if it was, the group would have given the correct call. So that was definitely out over the water. Probably not the best camera angle. And
Get it together, Jomez.
Seriously, get a close-up.
And James is up there. He's going to be putting for his bogey, which feels like a par. And Alan has a very tricky putt for his 4. See him crouching low. Crouching Alan, hidden bogey.
I can't.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
He's the one that missed.
Oh, and Paul unable to pick up the huge bonus. That would have been 7 for 7. Probably would have felt closer to 8 for 7 if that had dropped.
James with another good putt.
Hole 7 all weekend playing as the hardest hole in the course, averaging 3.58. Oh,
Alan.
no. Alan is going to take a 6. Triple bogey there, moving him to 4 over for the round. You really can feel for that. It's a tough start there. Really surprised when the calm conditions of round 1 only produced 2 birdies, that in the windier headwind conditions we had 6, including I played with Garrett Gerthy, who had a positive drop in under the basket.
Wow.
Really impressive shot. Moving on to hole 8, the Mound hole. $500 bounty for an ace on this one all weekend long. 330 feet. And there you go. You see the bunker there. There's a bunker behind the basket on the backside that also comes in play. And Paul is picking up a Nova. Interesting play here for Paul. And
yeah, that's really interesting.
I'm interested.
That was really good.
Yeah,
Made that look way too easy.
And James is going with his JK AVR.
But those, that's their go-to shots.
Mm-hmm.
These two guys throw putters, better than really anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, James is obviously, he's a magician with the JK, and just a little bit off to the right. Had about the same amount of power as Paul's, but didn't have the hillside there to catch it and slow it down. And oh no! And
Oh boy,
that is a huge mistake there for Sias.
yeah,
Early tree, OB.
early tree, then right in the bunker.
This has got to get up, or it might be heading for that sand trap, and it has skipped out. Or maybe he just flew out. We didn't see it skip out. I can't quite
There's
give
no
him-
way he skipped out of
No,
there.
there's no way. You're probably right. Oh, and that's not the recovery shot Sias was looking for. It's looking like it's most likely going to be a double bogey. Does he go for it?
Or
Oh
is it?
my gosh, this guy is a beast.
Wow, what a putt!
I mean, that putt doesn't go in. He doesn't. He's just like, whatever, man. Stupid bogey.
Yep.
What an awesome save there. I mean, he doesn't hit metal there. He's going in the bunker right behind the basket.
Yep. And he's not skipping out.
And James with the quality effort there. Giving it the run to go in, but not too much speed that he has any more than 4 feet.
Not much to say about that one. Here's Paul tapping in his birdie to go 7 through 8. And at this point, Paul has to be making a run at the leaders.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's only a few strokes behind Ricky. It's really tight at the top to start the round off. And, I mean, when the wind picks up, a couple skips to go OB, a couple missed putts, and Paul's right back into it. And he's definitely making a hard charge at the lead here.
Absolutely.
Hole 9, 819 feet, par 4. Grip it and rip it, bombs away here. It's really difficult to do anything dumb here off the tee. I mean, with the tailwind here, keeping most right-handed players' discs unable to turn over right over the fence, which is really the only out of bounds that comes into play. I suppose you could shank it left. There is a green that is somewhat in the way on the left, but we're not going to see that issue here with Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just this one's all about the second shot. Getting in position is important, though, because of these pine trees. If you can get to the left like he's done, then you'll have that left to right approach. Or if you don't, enjoy left to right shots, then keeping it right, and you'll have the hyzer into the green. And here's James with that long run up, puts everything into it, and this is just a low rifle line, as Avery would say.
Yeah, rifle line, dead center, off to the left side there, which is dead center if you like the backdoor play, which I think most players would probably prefer the left side to the right side.
Right.
No left.
Yes.
Correct.
Everybody in good position so far. As long as he can beat this tree, this should be good. And he does. I'm actually interested to see how they play this. He has to go probably wide turnover. Yeah.
That doesn't look like it has enough angle on it.
But with the way he's putting.
Yeah. Go ahead and count that for 3 for Sias. And moving on to hole 10.
Yeah. So Sias makes it.
Allen with the full crow step thumber here. Look at this. Really interesting. Not easy to capture the full flight of a thumber
He threw it so high. I don't know what to say about that. It's the highest thumber I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was high. And James with a really nice shot there, backside of the green. Pretty cool. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
No, I'm not a thumber player, so I don't really understand it. But I'm guessing that was too high.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to throw it that high. I throw thumbers, and that was not what he was looking for.
Oh, Paul, 8 through 9. Congrats.
Yeah, pretty good start. If you can see in the background, there's actually an air show going on quite a bit in the distance, which is pretty cool. Maybe Alan was trying to give him something to look at. I don't know.
Oh, Alan. We love you, buddy.
Well, take that back. Sias is going to not make his fourth putt from 1,000,000 feet on the front nine.
James with a good birdie.
Yeah.
Routine, as usual for him.
4 under on the front nine is a good score, especially with the bogey he took on hole 7. And Paul with a pretty decent front nine at almost perfect.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Like, he has not thrown one superhero shot yet. He makes it look so, like,
it's not this
attainable.
Easy, guys.
It's not.
I played
really,
the same
isn't.
course as him. It's really not that. It's
Yeah.
not that easy.
And Paul, 14 strokes ahead of someone on his card so far. I mean, incredible front nine. Making a charge, tied at second place. Ricky Wysocki with also a great front nine. It's going to be a really dramatic finish. The back nine, 2018 Utah Open presented by Prodigy Disc. Come back soon. Check out how these guys shape up. Hey everyone, Big Julie here, Jeremy Koling, joined by this guy, Paul Ulibarri. We just want to say thank you so much for making Jomez the most subscribed YouTube disc golf coverage. It means a lot to us. Paul, what do we got here?
Subscribe.
Oh yeah.
Like the page.
Yeah.
Leave a comment below, and for your chance to win a Glow Rock 3.
Yeah, man, it's pretty late. What time do you think it is?
It's gotta be 2 a.m.
Let's go play a night round, baby.